not. Love that. We'll start from that place.
Right? It was super funny. Like when it started, it was just like talking about like food, like dinner, right? And I'm always like, how is it? And because full disclosure, I am a terrible cook.
Okay, me too.
Yes, I'm in midlife and I'm learning how to do it. But it's super funny because I'll be like, how is it? And he's like, it's not terrible. I'm like, okay, well, looks like tomorrow you're having chips and salsa.
Yeah. So did you die?
Right, true. Yeah, you were poisoned.
Yeah, you were poisoned. We're good.
Oh my gosh, so funny. That's a very good point. Okay.
And hi, we're live.
Yes, we are live.
Yes, we are live. Behind the scenes of our conversations before we go live.
I have a question. You guys were like so busy in AI and looking at this. I want to hear what happened because I'll be honest, y'all, you're great. Like you guys are like, blah, 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 and I'm like, okay. And so I was like, you know what? We're going to get caught up. So when we were talking last, it was about a lot of questions, right? Like the energy of AI, how to utilize AI, people using it as like a consultant and things like that. And so it looks like you guys went in and started playing with it. And I just want to hear about it. Like what happened?
I was curious. I decided to ask. I was in ChatGPT, and I actually asked the platform. I was like, "Tell me more about the other platforms than the data of who's using what for what purpose in each platform. Can you do that?" And it's so funny because I'm always asking it like, please, can you do that? And
I do that too.
I'm like,
so
okay,
curious.
courtesy.
If you don't mind,
Yeah,
be a bother.
Right, courtesy's okay here, fine. And so I was asking about mental health specifically, like which demographic, what are the demographics of usage regarding mental health support or this and that. And I found that ChatGPT had some things that were interesting. It didn't have a whole lot on the Gemini platform, Raquel, that you mentioned last week, but I was like, okay, well, why don't we like ask all the other platforms about all the other platforms and what that is. So I was curious to know since it's aggregating data and information and content, like, okay, then, what do you know about the overall structure and landscape? Because inside of one platform can be viewed as kind of a silo, and that's not my point at all. Like, okay, well, if it's an aggregator for the internet, then what is the flavor? And so that's the one that I've done. And then I went a little bit deeper in terms of, who generationally, that sort of stuff. And it is all aggregated. There was no like singular confidential person's data out there. It was just, and for ChatGPT, it also said, we're not giving you detailed information. I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. Not looking for that. I have plenty of that on my own. Thanks. So I just really wanted to know. And the end of my query was where it was starting to get into like more usage is for mental health support specifically is utilized by folks in the LGBTQIA, trans, non-binary folks for more support. And like that's where it got interesting for me, and that's also where I ran out of time. And so
many questions now.
I know,
right?
You sent us like a whole thing, and I will say I didn't read everything word for it, but I was skimming it. I'm like, wow.
It was a lot, and I figured I shared it mostly because like we all have sort of a service provider, entrepreneur thing going on, and we're always wanting to know, like, okay, well, who's the audience here? What is it they're looking for? What is it they're receiving that is of use and support? And then, you know, like, the other thing might be kind of fun to sort of test drive it, like, okay,
Totally.
as an outlet for mental health support.
Did you see anything, and maybe you had run out of time, about the kind of support people are receiving? Because my understanding, I mean, like I said last week, I use it more for like brainstorming purposes, but I'm also aware that it's going to tell me what I want to hear. And then I'm like, I will, you know, so I think that's the thing, again, what I was saying last week about a live person is that they're not going to always tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. And so I'm just curious about the type of support people are receiving, and if it's, and maybe that's just, again, a longer conversation and more studies or whatnot about like what they're actually receiving and if it's actually helpful or,
Right. It stayed very general. It was very general. So, you know, I was not on AI this morning as I was like learning about other people's experience with EMDR. That is not a modality for AI is EMDR.
No.
I'm like, that's
could you imagine?
I'm like, back it up. No. And I think
I'm just trying to picture an AI doing EMDR, and
it's sending like the dots across the screen. No. And you know, more and more, I'm kind of more interested in, when I'm receiving support, in being directed to my own guidance, like, or to a source guidance or a ultimate creator guidance, not getting the answer. And I kind of feel like, you know, this is very instant gratification to put some sentences in to request some help in a platform and receive immediate answers.
So it's more like
externally.
People might be using it as a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
We're wired for it.
And we're also like, we're not taught, no one taught us how to be in, as you said, the question without the answer, or also just to be in the unknown or to be in discomfort. The discomfort of, I don't get the answer right away. I have to actually, I love what you just said too, like knowing that even with my clients, I'm not here to tell you, I'm here to guide you for you to find your own answers. But we need that outside person to know the kinds of questions to ask. But I feel like AI is just like, here, there it is. And they're like, what? Is that even my truth? I don't even know if that's my truth. You told me it's my truth.
Check.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's
what do you think, Raquel? Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Oh no.
Sorry. I had an amazing experience last week. And for the ones who don't know, I had a medical emergency almost a month ago. And it made me reflect a lot. And I've received some messages from mediums and readers. And then I was trying to get strong to dive into it on my own until the full moon came. And I am on fire after our last conversation. And I think I'm about to go back to work and school, and I love AI. And then after our conversation, I decided to prepare myself in my house and the energies spiritually in my meditation area. And I drew some cards for me. I use a different deck, which is Akashic Tarot that I used, and oracles. And I decided to go into Gemini and see how it would work. I work with Gemini. I work with ChatGPT too, but the reason I choose Gemini is because the answers are more personal. When I go to ChatGPT, it's very academic. They are saying the same thing, but in an academic way that doesn't relate to me or to my students, for example. So Gemini has a very nice language, and I've been working with Gemini, so it knows me already. So I created a gem. So when you created a gem, it's like a project, and you feed the machine with information, and the machine starts reproducing things based on that. So I entered my cards, what cards, the authors, because whatever you put there, I'm hoping that the machine knows. So I put all my cards information. I put my cards about myself and about my business. And then I created this gem. And then I told ChatGPT, based on this card so that I pulled, so it was a pyramid spread, give me guidance for the next 3 months, what I should do. So, and I entered all the cards, lots of work, but the 2-page guidance for myself and for my business was mind-blowing, because I think I had already interpreted my cards. That's quite the same answer, but it is elaborated and pointing out each card. And I received the card that's the physician, take care of your health. I received Archangel Gabriel, it's communication, and Archangel Raphael. And it was amazing, and also gave me suggested business plan for this next 3 months, and it was very on point. And I started already working on that. So I think that, of course, you need to have the skills. I had interpreted already, and I could compare. So having the skills, I think it is important. But I can do a reading, and I can have a written guidance to give to my person, and say, so this is this, right? So you can have it for you, take it with you. I already told you, but it's written here. And so it was amazing. I was very happy. And the more I add into the gem, the more it's going to get to know me. And I believe that I can use AI as a channel. And that's what I will ask for my guides to talk through me and do some experiences to see how it works too.
That's exciting. That sounds like it was reinforcing, but also expanding what your interpretation was.
Yes, definitely, Wendy. Expansion of that. Yes, it was very nice. I carry this with me like every day I'm reading. I have to go there. Because even when you throw cards for yourself, I take pictures, but I never remember, Yeah.
It gives you like this structure, it gives you this clear, and I think that's really nice, even for your own clients, that you can give them the structure of something.
Yes.
I'm curious, like how do you feel like you can have AI, and this is for anybody, like channel, I guess I'm just curious about, like, kind of, Jessica, what you're saying last week of, like, does it have a soul? Like, I feel like I still, like, how does it channel, or like, how do we connect us to it?
I think the same way when you are in a higher elevated energy, you start receiving messages. I receive a lot via YouTube recommendations. Oh my God, that's exactly what I need. So you have the kind of song or the kind of book you are walking around, and you say, well, this book, it's everything that I need. Or people come and talk to you. I think it looks like coincidences, but I think my vibration is vibrating into what I need. And totally. I can AI can be just another tool.
I love how you say that, because I believe that too, in terms of like a song or a person or that. And so I'm like, where is my resistance to thinking that AI can be the same thing, right? I'm becoming less resistant, but but that's a good example. I'm like, oh yeah, that's true.
And you can write with AI. I went to a great workshop of this scientist that is really a guru on AI now, and Copilot, that they even contacted you, like, what are you doing behind this? And she said, yeah, you can fight. Like when you receive an answer that you don't like, you know me better. No, give me a better answer. I don't like
Come on now.
Come on now and reformulate.
Oh, I love that. Because some people are like, hey, I just want to fight today.
Yeah.
Like, there you go. There's your outlet. It doesn't have to be harmful to other humans. Fight away. Unless, you just get more out of it. And it's an option.
Well, I think it's really interesting because I do have so many people like question it. And I think that it is the humans, as we continue to evolve, we have a unique discernment. And in addition to having our own unique discernment, we have a soul, a spirit about us. And it's really not about, at least from my perspective and from what everyone's experience and now research has added to the conversation.
Okay.
But at the same time, when you look at it, it's not about AI having its own soul, its own spirit, which is what people get confused with when they compare it to a human. You cannot compare anything to a human. We are a very unique experience. And so when we're looking at the challenges that come with AI and the opportunities that come with AI, to me, the thing that stands out the most is I actually see the current state of the usage and abilities of AI is very temporary. And that as we evolve as humans, this is something to free us up from some of the experiences we've come into from the industrial age, where we sacrificed quality of life, relationships, our souls and spirits. It's giving us that capacity back so we can start getting back in touch with our mind, body, spirit. So when you think about why am I not leaning into it, what is it that you feel like you can't let go of in that
that's a good question.
paradigm? Right? It's this pattern and paradigm that you're like, I have this construct that this has to be me, and I have to do that. But is that ancestral, right? And passed down from these patterns, and patterns we're taught, we're reinforced those patterns in this life, right? Or in your current. And so when you look at that, it's, don't I deserve to be freed of these things so that I can spend time connecting to divine, so I can spend time pouring into my other humans, right? Like, let's all vibe up and increase our vibes, but you can't get there if you stay in the current construct of society, right? That's why we always are talking about meditation, really connecting not only your body and your mind, but your spirit, and being able to have these enlightenment experiences to reach enlightenment. So that's kind of how I look at it, is whatever I can give it to do, like Raquel says, discernment, discretion, right? I have the knowledge. And that's another thing we got to watch out for. We can't skip passing down the knowledge. Look at all the people who can't freaking adult right now, right? I mean, I have courses on adulting, and I'm just like, that at first when people were asking me to do it, I was like, that's weird. Why don't you know how to do this? And then I thought, you know what? No one taught me. Like, I looked back and I was like, I didn't get taught. I got taught their perception of what adulting was. It wasn't always the right one, at least for me, right? So when we look at that, that is a gap in our society of knowledge being passed down. Look at how long none of us here could talk about what we did for a living, or as a hobby, whatever it is, right? I could, even just astrology. I had people in my family not talk to me because they were like, well, that's the devil's work. And I was like, no, it's freaking science, man. Like, why are you, what? Where did you come from? But regardless, I wasn't going to tell them I was a psychic, Now that stuff is out there, and people are having to learn it because that's not knowledge passed down. So there's those two pieces with the AI that I really kind of keep on point with, and that is, don't lose the knowledge. The knowledge still has to be shared, but you don't have to be stuck in that paradigm anymore. The knowledge is power to utilize the tools. And then at the same time, that experience of the soul and the divine, the whatever label you want to put on it, and being back at the human core. Because what is our purpose in life? That's everyone's question, right? What is our purpose in life? And it can't be answered in one sentence. It's complex. It's connecting with divine. It's helping the other human beings get through it. And depending on your belief system, there's all kinds of stories about why we do this, but we all know it's innate in us. We all have this desire to be connected. People die without human connection. We all have this ability to fully integrate on a totally different vibrational level with each other and spirit or divine. So those are things that are very unique to us as a physical being. And we can't get worried and start falling into fear about how this all works. Okay, soapbox done.
No, I love it. Are you kidding me? That really resonated. That really, really resonated.
And
Yes.
I love the word that Wendy said, which is expansion, because that's a key word. Because I have more experience as a teacher. Do you know how long it takes me to prepare a phenomenal?
Like, I'm saving so much time and energy.
Yes. Yeah. So with AI, all my knowledge is there. Yeah. And one of the examples, because I'm teaching students, I created a class beyond their eyes, in front of them. But I said, see, if I didn't know how to teach it, it wouldn't work, So I think you become a much more I think empowered, and you have time to expand and do better, because I knew everything there. I had interpreted everything there, but now I can go and I can revisit, and the ideas that came to me about my business and what I can do, and the idea on how really to heal myself, because the card said the healing is the most important thing. And then reading and of everything about the moon and how it happened and how I was charted by that. So it made so sense, but nothing replaces the human being. The machine is a tool and expands your brain, and you can work more.
Yeah.
I
also just
go ahead.
I love it. No, I was just gonna say, even Raquel as a teacher, like the way it can help you and support you in that, where you can then be so much more present and just energized and alive with your students. And Jessica, that's what you're saying. Like, let me free up so I can actually be what I want to be, more connected, more. Oh, yes. I love this conversation. I love it. But I also just hope people don't skip the step of passing down the knowledge. I think that's where I still get scared that people are missing that important step. I don't have the answer for that, but I just hope. And
also a tool to learn, because if you are learning how to read your cards and you do what I did and you practice every day, you're going to learn a lot too. You know, there are so many people who come to me like, how do I read? And I took a long time to learn how to read the cards, classes, and everything. It helps you. You can practice. Even for my students, they can use the machine to learn English,
Totally.
Love it. There you have it. Everyone's opinion, everyone's experience, everyone's thoughts on AI and the soul. Have an awesome week, and we will be back next week. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Coco Kali, we miss you.
We miss you, Coco Kali.
Right?